After surviving the attack, they drove in. Why, hello there. I am Dr. Peter Persil, neurosurgeon and psychiatrist. I specialize in many things psychological, but I thought today, as it is Werewolf Week on Random Horror, Random Ross has asked me if I would look up on the Real Wolfman Case. And of course, like Frankenstein and Dracula, the Wolfman too was inspired by a true event, an incident, if you will. So, let's get this started, shall we? Taking place in France in the years between 1764 and 1767, there were brutal attacks on a small French village. This was known as the Beast of... Now excuse me here, I may misread this. The Beast of Gevaudan. Beast of Gevaudan in the Kingdom of France. Victims were often killed by their throats being torn open, and of course, by a creature that they believed to be a werewolf. The creature killed between 60 to 10 people, all children, adults, as was 30 people, survived but with injuries. People suspected that this was the story of, well, at the time it was considered fact, of lycanthropy. Lycanthropy is a condition where the person is under the siege of being controlled and turned into a beast that is either half man, half something else, such as were. Were means only half of. A were could be like a were-cat or a were-bear, as in other folklore myths around the world. But right now, we're talking about Europe, the real Wolfman. So, let us see. There was reported to be over 210 attacks reported. Possibly more. People were scared to leave their houses and homes, thinking that this could be the work of a were creature or a were dog or something. Reports of sightings of this creature described him as being a man-like figure with black-grey fur and a dog-like face, as some people put. Of course, today science would prove that very wrong. Of course, it was recorded so many cases, so many victims. But of course, in the January 12th, 1765, Jacqueline Jacqueline Port Felix, or whatever the name is, I can't really read good. This was also around the time of King Louis XV's reign. Back to the subject of the creature. And 7 friends were attacked by this creature. After surviving the attack, they drove it away by staying as a group together. A smart decision, which is never really that well used in horror films. But of course this is fact. So, they found the creature and encountered it. Even came to the attention of King Louis XV, who was awkward, and over 300 lives to this. There was a lot of people who thought the killings and murders of a person, people over going into triple figures, happening over so many years, not many years. However, in my stick was about to fall. However, in December 2nd, 1765, another beast was found injured. 2 men, as a dozen more deaths are reported to have fallen attacks by La Bizarre Saint Mary or something like that. I don't know. But of course, the final attacks, the killings of the creatures that were eventually marked at the end of the attacks, credited to local hunters' names. John Chestel, who shot it during a hunt, organized a local nobleman people. Of course, in 1766, it was discovered that it was a deranged man wearing a wolf costume that was made out of wolf fur, such as he was wearing the head of a wolf and the fur of a wolf, and using various tools to make it look like a wolf-like creature had attacked. But of course, they caught him, and he was punished for his crimes, and was seen as a deranged man. Never killing in the same way, always killing in different ways to make it look like the work of an animal. Of course, for a while the murders did stop, as they believed they had solved it. But of course, the attacks quickly started again, believing that the man had some kind of accomplice. No one could find him. Until one person, a hunter hunting in the forest, in the woodlands, he came across a creature that was neither dog or wolf, was bigger, and was laughing. Scared by this laughter, he ran away. And of course, they went out hunting for this beast. And of course, in 2001, a discovery was made by some archaeologists. One who goes by the name of Michael Lewis. He made the discovery of bones of the victims that he managed to salvage and as such from the old cases and stuff. Looking at the bones, finding teeth marks in them, also discovering that this was not the bite of neither a wolf or a dog, first theorizing that it was a lion, but then digging deeper and deeper into the case, he discovered that the creature that was responsible, well, I don't think it was responsible for most of the kills. As I told you, it was the Wolfman, which was just a man dressed as a wolf. It was reported to be a hyenodon, a creature from Africa, a scavenger being. And of course, how did a hyena get from Africa to France? Well, many people believe it could have immigrated, or the man himself could have captured it and brought it over to France. Either way, it was explaining a lot. And of course, these were times of paranoia and superstition. People never really believed in science back then as we do now. But of course, this story, it has been scary, but what is it that Random Ross says about horror? The horror that is the real horror is the scariest. I could not agree more with him. But of course, the Wolfman creature. This historical event, of course, has inspired much fiction in lycanthropy. Of course, that wasn't the first time of a werewolf case or story. The story of lycanthropy dates back to ancient Greece, following an emperor called Lycaon who fed on the flesh of humans, and Zeus came down and disguised himself as a human, only to find that Lycaon wanted him to eat the flesh of another. When Zeus found this out, he turned Lycaon into a wolf-like creature, and every time he would attack someone with a wound from him, they would turn into what he is when the moon is full. And of course, we've had this case, the Real Wolfman, or the Beast of Gevaudan, from between 1764 to 1767 in France. What else do we have? We have so much fiction now. Werewolf films dating back to the silent era. Yes, there are films dating back to that. Even the introduction of a silver bullet. Now, of course, when Judas betrayed God, he took a bag of silver. So God made silver a curse to the cursed, which means it would be not just harmful to werewolves, but vampires. But as vampires are already undead and it requires a stake to kill them, it kills werewolves because they're still living creatures. Silver's a poison to them, and of course, that again was pretty much introduced in the 1935 werewolf film. Also, we have so many iconic creatures in werewolf films, such as the Wolfman from 1941, which was remade in 2010, and also the Hammer House of Horrors making Wolfman films, and we've had others such as The Howling, An American Werewolf in London, Dog Soldiers, and Ginger Snaps. So many werewolf films out there. Yet, like what most werewolf fans say, they are underrated. And they don't get as much credit as the vampires do, but werewolves, they are a magnificent, fantastic creature. How they can take the form from a human-like being and transform into an animal. It's amazing. And it's all from the light of the full moon. What is it that makes a man turn into these lichen creatures? Well, the moon controls our gravity. Not only that, but it controls the tide as well. Now, of course, you can look that up on any Wikipedia site or Google or such. It will explain why the moon does that with the oceans. But does it do it with the werewolf creature? Does the moon do something that makes their body expand? Or shrink depending on what myth we're going with. I like the werewolves that have the head of a man and the body of the wolf and the dark black and grey fur. And of course, I like to think that it's the gravity from the moon that also reshapes their bodies and makes their hair grow out. If you understand what I am trying to say. But of course, there are many things on heaven and earth that we can think of and see. Some have explanations, some do not. But of course, that is what science is for. But there are some things science have not been able to explain. Yes. This has been the Dr. Persil Treatment, and it has been a Werewolf Week Special on the Real Wolfman. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Random Horror YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. I've been your host, Dr. Peter Persil, and this has been the Dr. Persil Treatment. Until next time, don't have nightmares.